morning, Belen. I'm Danny Esteban.
And I'm Raul Rodriguez. Welcome to this edition of Wbln for today, March 2nd, 2018.
The president of our brother's school, St. Ignatius High School in Taipei, Taiwan, was here touring Belen this week to learn about our school and culture. Our very own Wbln reporter, Mario Fernandez, has more.
Here we have the president of St. Ignatius Taipei. Thank you so much for being with us here today.
Nice to meet you.
How have you enjoyed your time here in Miami, and what have you done?
Okay, we have a very good tour of the school the whole day, and all my colleagues enjoyed it very much. Very fruitful.
Very good, very good.
And we also feel a little bit, what you said, feel not that good in a sense, because your facility is much more better than us.
Some of your students were here a couple weeks ago.
Yes.
How was their response in being here at our school?
This is very easy to answer. They do not want to go home. If you offer them free tuition, scholarship, definitely they all stay here.
Your history is very similar to ours in a way. Can you take us through a brief history of your school?
Okay. Our school is a little bit older than your school. It was established in 1850 in Shanghai by the Jesuit order. At that time, this is the first high school in the whole China that combined the Western courses with the Chinese course together. So it's a mix of different two cultures. Western culture at that time emphasized about science, but Chinese is literature. So they combine these two. Then, after the communists occupied mainland China, the Jesuits were expelled. So later, by the request of the alumni, they want to continue the school, so we restored school in Taiwan 54 years ago.
Yes.
Okay, so we have the similar background.
Yes.
You are in Cuban and
Yes.
come back to,
and we're
to
both,
the States.
both Jesuit as well.
Right, yes.
And you are a Jesuit priest,
Yes.
like our president, Father
Yes,
Willie.
yes.
What drove you to the Jesuit order?
I entered the society at the age of 33. Most Jesuits, the most common scenario is they enter society only a few years after college. So,
And then, how would you compare the education in Taipei to the one here in Miami and the United States?
it's very difficult to make a comparison. This one also doesn't make us feel comfortable because in many ways, your education or your school are full with all kinds of resources, but we don't have that. The other thing is, I don't know, maybe it's cultural difference also. Your student is more liberal in many ways, but in the Chinese way, we always emphasize discipline all the time. So they are a little bit idle in some way.
Yes.
You push them, they move. You don't push them. And the other thing is the education system is quite different.
Yes.
In here, I'm talking about liberal, is each school can develop their own curriculum. But in our place, especially in the past, everything is regulated. So you cannot do what you want. Yes. Especially for a Jesuit school, we cannot promote anything related to the Jesuit education, spirit, or religion, something like that.
All right. Well, thank you for meeting with us. It was very nice having you.
It's my pleasure also.
It was very nice having you, and enjoy the rest of your time here.
Okay,
in Miami.
welcome to visit us if you have time.
Thank you very much.
Okay.
Thanks, Mario. Mr. Peña's Legal Systems and Concepts class visited the Miami-Dade courthouse to hear a state court case and tour the historic landmark. The tour includes seeing courtroom 6-1, where Al Capone and Giuseppe Sangaria were tied in the 1930s. Judge Peter Lopez of the 11th Judicial Circuit Court hosted the class in his courtroom to hear opening arguments in a civil case involving the city of Homestead and a resident.
Yesterday we went to the courthouse and I found it really interesting because I actually want to study law, and This was like my first time at an actual court case, and it was really interesting because I'd never been in there, and things that I'd learned in my class, now I could apply to real life situations, and it was just great to see how both of them interact with each other and how I was just hands-on into the experience. And I really felt like now I really want to pursue law, and I think more kids should have the opportunity to do it who have an interest in law, because
I took away how a big part of how our justice system works that a lot of times we don't get to see in action. And a lot of things that I learned in Mr. Peña's class, I was able to apply and see happening, and it's something that is relevant in our society and that we don't often see. So.
In national news, it looks like the Trump family is being investigated. Sources say that U.S. counterintelligence officials are scrutinizing one of Ivanka Trump's international business deals. A current and former U.S. officials said the FBI is looking into negotiations and financing surrounding Trump International Hotel and Tower in Vancouver. The $360 million project attracts foreign buyers, but it's unclear why officials are looking into the particular deal. This probe comes as Ivanka Trump is trying to get full security clearance in her role as advisor to her father, President Donald Trump. It's part of the standard procedure required for background checks, but it could end up being a hurdle for the first daughter, whose husband, Jared Kushner, is also being looked at by the FBI. A spokesperson for Ivanka Trump's ethics council denies any red flags or problems and has been raised regarding their clearance of applications. The FBI declined to comment. As for Ivanka's husband, he once again finds himself under the microscope. The New York Times is reporting Jared Kushner's family real estate group obtained business loans after he met with company heads at the White House. According to the report, Kushner met with Joshua Harris, a founder of Apollo Global Management, on multiple occasions while advising the Trump administration. In November 2017, Apollo's real estate group lent Kushner companies $184 million to refinance the mortgage of a Chicago skyscraper. And the Times reported Citigroup's chief executive, Michael Corbat, met with Kushner in the spring of 2017. A short time after, the group lent Kushner Company $325 million for some of its Brooklyn properties. A spokeswoman for Kushner Company said Kushner's White House position has no impact with the company's affairs with financial institutions. The news is the latest in a series that call into question Kushner's ability to effectively work in the West Wing given his complex business ties.
Russian President Vladimir Putin is making some startling claims about his country's missiles and nuclear warheads. Giving his annual address to lawmakers on Thursday in Moscow, Putin said, "Russia is developing invincible new missiles which will render NATO defenses completely useless." Speaking for nearly 2 hours, Putin also boasted about Russia's extraordinary advances in the military sphere, including missiles with almost unlimited range, capable of piercing U.S. missiles defense through maneuverable and supersonic speed. He also claimed that Russia has the greatest nuclear potential in the world, and asked the world to listen to that. But he added that Russia never had an intention of attacking anybody, and would only retaliate if it was attacked. This flu season has been the worst in recent history. Leo Bate has more.
The dangers of this year's flu epidemic is something we've been hearing a lot about. And the season is not over. Flu season usually takes place in late December and peaks around February. This season started early and was widespread in many states by December. Early last month, it hit what seemed like peak levels, but then continued to surge. Students should continue to be cautious about the flu and take precautions.
First and foremost, hand washing. Hand washing is paramount. You're going to have to do it several times a day. I highly recommend using hand sanitizers if you're going to have a chance to wash your hands. Proper nutrition, eating stuff that's going to help you out, your vegetables, your stuff like that. Your fluids, your orange juices and stuff like that can help out. Rest.
Hey guys, here's your scoop for today. Music is in the air, or shall I say, in the Roca Theater. Here's Marcos Arajos with this week's Showbiz Spotlight.
Disney's The Hunchback of Notre Dame is ready to take center stage at the Roca Theater. The cast of the spring musical has been in rehearsal for months and ready to showcase its hard work for audiences. Performances are March 2nd, 3rd, 9th, and 10th at 7:30 p.m. Matinee performances will be on March 4th at 3 p.m. and March 10th at 2 p.m. Mr. Perdure, a veteran actor and teacher, is marking his 11th production at the Nation Center as director.
Wow. Well, talking about how I felt how the show was going to come out, I always thought it was going to be a wonderful performance and an incredible show, because I know I had the talent in place and I had all of the people that I really needed, both as the leading characters and then the supporting characters. And having a live orchestra and having an amazing crew around me, both in sound and in lighting, I always knew it would be a fantastic show. My only concern was the time. We only had 7 weeks to put this show up, and we really did put it up. It's an incredible show, and we did it in 7 weeks. Now that says a lot about the young men and the young women in the show. They've really worked extremely hard. They have given their time, they have given their effort, and it really shows on stage. And I really hope everyone comes out to see the show, because I really feel this is going to be one of the best shows that we've done here at Belen.
Thank you, Marcos. Now stay tuned as we bring you
Disney's
weather
The
and sports
Hunchback of
after
Notre
these
Dame
messages.
is ready to take center.
Thank you, Marcos. Now stay tuned as we bring you weather and sports.
Good morning, guys. Today we started off the morning with a bit of an unusual sight here in Miami, which is fog. We're not really used to that down here, but thankfully that cleared up. Unfortunately, we are looking at some afternoon showers in the afternoon. All right, looking at the rest of the forecast for today, we have relative humidity at 58%, winds moving west at 11 miles an hour, precipitation with a 20% chance of rain, and your temperatures are looking at mid to high 80s for your highs, and your lows at mid to high 60s. Moving on to your extended forecast, this weekend's looking like a pretty nice weekend with your highs in the high 70s and your lows in the low 60s and high 50s, with mostly sunny across the board with hardly any chance of rain. All right, guys, that's all for your weather today. Let's pass it on to sports.
Good morning, Wolverine Nation. The JV baseball team beat Westminster Academy 7-4. Esteban Rodriguez, Andrew Lamaneses, and Francis Cruz led them to the win. The varsity baseball team has their home opener against Seacrest today at 3:30. The varsity water polo team will be playing in the Wildcat Invitational being held in Orlando. The varsity wrestling team will be participating in the state championships up in Orlando as well. The JV and varsity volleyball teams play at Columbus. Game time is 6 o'clock and 7:15. The varsity track and field team will be participating in the Sam Burley meet being held at Tropical Park. Competition is set for Friday and Saturday. On Saturday, the middle school gold baseball team will host Florida Christian. Game time is 10 o'clock a.m. The JV and varsity lacrosse teams will be hosting Berry and Collier. JV plays at 2 o'clock and varsity plays at 4. The ACC will be conducting their soccer playoffs. Both blue and gold Belen teams will be participating in the tournament. Now that's all for sports. Back to you guys at the desk.
Thank you, Mario. Be sure to follow us on YouTube, Twitter, and Facebook for the latest news and pictures. I'm Raul Rodriguez.
And I'm Danny Esteban. From everyone here, have a wonderful day and stay golden, Wolverines.